Morning, Curtis. How you doing?
Good morning, RJ. How are you today?
I'm doing awesome. I'm excited for today.
Excellent.
We've been working hard on this, have we not? This has been a
Yes.
while in coming. We've tried several times to put out this broadcast and just delays and delays for whatever reason. I think life is like that. I was even in a mastermind with another community that I belong to, and one of the things we talked about was the germination period. In other words, how long something takes to come out, right? Like when you plant a seed, you can't expect it to have product or produce next week. You know what I mean? You have to wait until it's due, until it germinates, until it starts to grow, and then starts to produce seeds or starts to produce fruit. And so, I mean, we can all get disappointed and we can all, get upset about, oh my God, I mean, it's not working out the way I want, or there's nothing ready yet, or it's not perfect yet. And those things can really look, they've caused grief, right? But
Delays.
I mean, yeah, you just wait until it's time. And we're not perfect. We're this presentation, and when people watch it, it's not perfect, but it is imperfect action, right? We're taking the right steps. We're getting it out there, letting people know about everything we've been working on, everything we've been putting together. And so I'm excited about today. I'm not even nervous at all. You know how sometimes when you do a presentation or you do a broadcast, you get that nerves, you get that, oh my God, should I be doing this? Am I ready? Am I perfect? I'm not even nervous at all. I'm very excited because this has been a long time coming. I know the content. I've been preparing for the content. You have as well. We've been working on this for quite a while. So I'm excited to present it to people. So that's what today is all about.
So you
go ahead.
So you set up an outline. So we're going to go through that today, right?
Yeah, you know what?
Let's introduce ourselves and stuff like that, right?
Why don't you bring up the outline so I can show people the imperfect action? Because we don't have a PowerPoint presentation, right? That's not what today's going to be all about. It's about Curtis and I talking through what we've been working on. And so we just created an outline. And it's like 5 pages, I think, of stuff that we're going to talk about today. So it's probably going to be about an hour to an hour and a half presentation that we're looking at, where we're just going to talk through our book that we've produced called Become the Leader You've Always Wanted to Be. And it's a short little book. It's probably like 30 some odd pages, 30 pages, I think. And it just talks about how you can be the leader, whether you've decided to be that leader or not, or whether you've stepped into the role, or whether you even don't think you should be a leader. This book will help get you in the right mindset for becoming the leader. So this is the outline that we've put together. If you want to just kind of slowly scroll down, and these are some of the things that we'll be talking about today. Is, first we're going to get to know Curtis and I. We'll talk about personal development and the steps you need to take to become better. We're going to run through leadership. What is it all about? How you can become a leader. What are some of the things you can do to step into your leadership? Where you can find leaders, things like that. Keep going. Just keep scrolling. Different traits, different assets, where you can learn to become a better leader. And then some of the leaders that we know throughout history, we've heard about. Now, we're not all going to be that leader. Like, there are names out there, right? Personally, and you'll learn about my journey where I found my first leader. But there are leaders out there who have just exemplified what it means to be a quality leader, to lead people through change, through growth. So keep scrolling. So this is our outline. I just wanted people to see that. So we're going to talk about leadership. Then we're going to talk about what we've been putting together. If you can scroll up a little further, because we're going to talk about community, what community means. And we all need to belong to a community. As a leader, you're nobody without followers. So we're going to talk about community and what that means, and how you can get closer to community, whether you come to our community or not.
You stop sharing.
Whether you come to our community or not, get yourself involved in community locally. You know what I mean? Not just online with friends, followers. Facebook and social media. Get involved locally. Go out there and either get involved in your community church, your neighborhood sports or Toastmasters or something else that's important to you. Maybe lead your kids' social groups, right? Or become involved at your school, kids' schools. So there are so many ways that you can step into leadership, and really that involves being involved in community. And that's really what we've put together here today is we've been working on building a community, and we want you to be a part of it. So that's why we put this presentation together. And the presentation today is called Become the Leader You've Always Wanted to Be. Yes, we said leading the field because it really is about stepping in and becoming a leader, and leading in whatever field that you find is important to you.
Yep.
So thanks for that, Curtis, for sharing that with people. And
Awesome.
we'll start talking through it and start walking through our outline. The first thing is, as we get to know each other, you're up first because I wanted people to know your journey. Look, first of all, we've been at this several years, you and I.
A couple years, yeah.
But we got to know each other, what, 6, 8 years ago, something like that.
Yeah, just through different events we attended over the time. Yep.
So I would like for you to tell people about your journey, why this is so important to you. You are the beacon of positivity. Tell people how that came about. Tell your story, please.
Sure. So, well, a few years ago, I just try to figure out, you try to figure out what you want to do for a business. And then that's where I came into positivity. Because back in 2018, I wrote a book on it, ABCs to a Positive Life. So from that book, I decided that, hey, I can help other people change their lives too, maybe by being positive. Not positive, it's not saying that it's like a Pollyanna type thing, but you just think differently and try to look on the bright side of stuff more so.
So if I can interrupt, can you go back a little further and maybe tell people where you come from and why positivity is such an important aspect of your life? Maybe your struggles that brought you to this aspect of positivity.
Well, I was in martial arts to start with when I was 13 years old. And before that, I always used to get in fights and stuff, probably based out of anger or whatever. So, but I thought because some other kid beat me in a fight, he knew martial arts, like, hey, I need to do martial arts, I can beat this other kid back. But as usual, you take martial arts, your mindset changes towards something different, right? It's not about fighting or anything like that. It'll help like protecting yourself and helping others do good too, right? That's probably where it started from. And then throughout life, there's always been different trials and tribulations, throughout life. My mom got divorced, and then my sister was really upset about it, and then we tried to deal with it that way, right? And then you just move on. But then with the positivity thing, I just found that I was able to look on different sides of it instead of just like one direction of like anger point of view. There's also another side of it too, right? Maybe look at it as hey, maybe the person's like this because of something else, right? Instead of just your own thought about it. And I think that's helped me out through my life, just like trying to see a different perspective of what life can provide for you. Even though you might have money issues, it's like, well, what can I do to fix it? At the time, you may not know, but over time, your brain will start thinking, hey, I can do this, or maybe I can do this, and then you can just try new things, right? And then that's the open-mindedness of it. From there, usually you can just try to figure it out, or just even if you can't figure it out, sometimes you can read a book, right? Or watch a YouTube video, or maybe there's someone out there that you like, say like Tony Robbins or whatever, that type person. It's like, hey, that guy's pretty, he has lots of books, lots of videos, go check it out. Maybe it can help. Or maybe there's an answer that you're looking for that you don't know yet, but you watch this video and say, oh my God, that's what I'm looking for. And it can be like an aha moment for you, and it can switch your life up. So that's some of the things I've learned over the years.
So if I can just recap there, because you touched on like 3 things that are really important there. First of all, we all face struggles. We all go through things. We don't or may not know how to handle them, right? But you knew you had to do something about it. You knew you had to change that effect, regardless of what was happening, regardless of the outside circumstance, you had to do something about it. And then you took it upon yourself to find those solutions, to find the answer. And I think knowing that being positive was a good place to start to change your mindset. Now it puts you in a frame of mind where you can find those solutions. The answers are more likely to come to you.
Yeah, so sometimes it takes longer than others, but yeah, usually
of course
it takes whatever. But if you're consistent and persistent with something, it definitely comes up and things can change. Even though,
tell people about your book and why positivity is such an important thing for you.
Well, I wrote the book because I took a course with Raymond Aaron. I went to a couple of seminars. He always promotes books. Say, hey, you can write a book, become an authority. Say, hey, I like to become an authority. So I decided to write a book. I used the program, the 10-10-10 program. It worked really well. Basically, I was pretty dedicated. Once I decided to do it, I would get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, write for about an hour and a half, or research whatever I need to do. And at that time, I was also working a full-time job from like 6 a.m. to about 6 p.m. every day. So it was pretty grueling to get that time in. But I knew I wanted to get done because I know sometimes we all procrastinate. And I made just the decision, I got to get this done in the time, right? They did take me a little bit longer than the 10 weeks they recommended, but I was fine with that. I knew I just finished it, right? To get it finished, is that my idea? So then I published it. I didn't go that anywhere far because I guess something with Amazon or whatever, some issues with it. I couldn't figure it out, and I asked them. They said it was fixed, but I don't know. I still haven't figured it out. But anyway, I've promoted my book through other people, my friends and family, and yes, they did buy books, so it's fun. And then
Yep,
the
I have
publishing
my copy.
company.
I have a signed copy from you. Thank you very much.
Yep.
So,
All right, cool. Some internet issue.
so is that your story, or do you have more to add?
No, actually, then, yeah. So then, as time goes on, now we're all into AI things, right? As you know, and actually, I did a story with like just thinking about what I want to write today, and then I decided, hey, what if I did a Star Wars theme? So if you want me to go through that quickly, I can do that, RJ, if you like.
What is that? Sorry.
So with AI, you can write stuff, right?
Right.
So I did like a story about my affiliate marketing journey that I'm on right now.
Got you.
And then
No,
I
I
said,
don't
hey,
think
maybe
we'll
I can
share
switch this
that.
to like a
Thank you for
Star
bringing that
Wars
up
sort of
because
theme.
yeah, thank you for bringing that up. I don't think we'll share it, but I mean, it's part of your story. It's part of your journey because you know what? We may not all have the skills, and that's part of being a look. You may think, oh, I don't know how to do this, so I can't be a leader. Oh, I don't have the skills. I can't produce content. I'm not going to be able to deliver a message. These are all things, or excuses, issues, occurrences that prevent us from taking that next step, right? But look, you didn't know how to write a book, but you've written one. You're not the best at writing. I'll admit, I'll tell that for people out there right now. You're not the best at writing. But with different tools, like using AI, with, writing it out in an outline and then doing spell check and everything else, you can put that words, the story together. So no, these are amazing tools that people can use. And yeah, you've talked about affiliate marketing too, which you're starting to use in our journey. You've learned a lot about the technical aspects and the background for how to put these things together. And I rely on you for the tech. You're part of our CRM, our customer retention manager, our management system. You kind of take the lead on that, and I'd be lost if you didn't, right? So there's how we pair each other out. So Curtis does the creative or the technical stuff, and I handle the creative stuff. So that's how we put things together. So do you have anything else to add about your journey, Curtis?
No, I just think, I'm a dad, a premature baby, about 11 years now. So that was quite a journey on its own. It was quite tough. You're still working tons of hours and you got to go every day to the hospital. But thankfully, the hospital was only 5 minutes away from the house. So we moved just before we had our baby, and we're just like 5 minutes away from the actual hospital that we needed to go to, which is McMaster here in Ontario.
Because you were back and forth to the hospital.
I was really lucky.
You had issues with your child.
So I worked
and there's why it's important.
It was 26 weeks early.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, she's an amazing child. We love her. And I love when she comes in and says hi to us all the time during our meetings, and she's a proud little girl. She's grown into her own right, despite being 26 weeks premature, which is crazy, right? So, so and there's another reason why it's important to remain positive or start things out with a positive attitude. Absolutely. So that's Curtis's journey, and I will say that Curtis and I met about 5 years ago. Approximately, I don't remember exact date, but and then we just knew we had a connection. We just knew something between us was going to develop into something, and then eventually we started talking about putting a business together, And that developed into this. Well, we've actually evolved. We started a company called Live and Love Life Leadership. That didn't develop the audience we may have liked, and we've evolved into Beacon of Leadership. And we'll talk about why a beacon is so important very shortly, but and why we've chose Beacon of Leadership. But now I'll tell you a little bit about my story, in that, 12 years or so ago, I was going through a tough phase in my life. Like, I was in a hateful state because I blamed the world for my problems. You know what I mean? I was angry with everyone, and I let people know that, you know what I mean? In my attitude and my thoughts and my persona, you could just tell I was angry, and I didn't want people around me. And as such, people didn't want to be around me. In fact, I was about to lose everything. My job was suffering. I couldn't talk to my wife, so we were struggling. And because of that, I was about to lose my job, my house, my home, my wife. You know what I mean? It was all coming to a cataclysm where we were going to lose it all. And like you recognize that you need to do something about it. So I noticed that if anything's to change, I need to be the person to do it. So I took steps, and I found some counseling, because I knew I needed counseling. I couldn't do it on my own. That was part of my thing. Is I'm like, you know what? I don't know how to be any other way. I understand I'm angry. I know it, but I don't know how to be any other way. And then so I found counseling, and because I was at a state where I was willing to change, within about 6 weeks or so of counseling, I was a completely different person. Now more positive, more happy, more able to accept the situations. And as my therapist said, find the way to take control. You can't control the outcomes. You can't control the circumstances, but you can control how you respond to things. And through that, you're able to control the outcomes to a certain degree. So that was beneficial to me. And then through that, I discovered, in fact, my boss said to me, he says, look, you're one of the smartest people I know. You're actually one of the most read. You always have a book in your hand. Why don't you look or read about things that can be beneficial to you? And within a week, I found this book called Make Today Count. There's London, by the way. Hello. She always comes to join us at some point, so I like that. So so I found the book called Make Today Count by John Maxwell. And of course, that was exactly what I was looking for, right? Because my days were struggling. I was angry. I blamed people. So I found Make Today Count by John Maxwell. And that was the day that truly changed my life, because through that, I was led to another book. I eventually read Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. I was led to Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, and then so many other books and stuff over the years. So yes, I am well read. I'm well informed. I'm a student first. I keep learning, and I expect that I'll learn something right up until my last.
Did you want to mention our book studies we've done there, RJ, that we've done in the last couple of years?
Yeah, we've done several, and Think and Grow Rich was certainly one of them. That book has changed my life. I know it's done a lot for Curtis as well. And I recommend that book to anybody, because it puts you in the mindset that things are possible for you. And it does give you a 13-step process or 13 principles that, if you implement them into your life, can truly change your life for the better. And eventually, if that's your intention, you will find the wealth you need. I know the wealth is coming for you and I, Curtis, because we have figured that thing out that's going to take our to produce our wealth, to produce our and wealth is far more than riches, by the way. Because, so we're well on the path because we've developed our personality, we have a positive mindset, we have the frame of mind that we are going to succeed, and because we have such a desire to succeed, and we keep persevering, we keep ticking away at it, we keep doing what we need to do, that our wealth, the riches, the money, the success that we desire is just on the cusp of delivery. I believe that with every fiber of my being, and that's what keeps me going.
Right on.
So having said that, I know who I am, I know where I'm going, and I know what I'm doing to get there. So I've learned about myself. I've come through a journey, and it's all been about studying me. Some of us are afraid to ask those powerful questions, right? What is it, what is it about me? What am I doing wrong? Why? Because they don't want to look at themselves. They don't want to believe that they're the problem. But I'll tell you, the first thing I accepted was that I am the problem. And therefore, if I'm the problem, I'm the solution.
Yep.
Right. So
Sure.
I know who I am because of the growth I've done and the path I've walked. I've learned a lot about myself, my journey, where I want to go, what I want to do, because I've analyzed these things. And then, so I know where I'm going because, again, and it may have been Think and Grow Rich that put me on that path. But I want that wealth. I want to be a successful leader. I want to look, I've learned from Jim Rohn, Napoleon Hill, Dale Carnegie, Zig Ziglar, Bob Proctor, and so many others. I have their wisdom inside me, and it's time to share that wisdom with other people. So I want to be that next teacher, because let's face it, Zig Ziglar's not here anymore. Jim Rohn's not here anymore. Napoleon Hill, long since gone. Bob Proctor just left us recently. So these people and their messages, yes, they're ingrained in all the people that they've taught. But generations from now, 2 generations from now, will they know about these lessons? Will they have learned these lessons? Bob Proctor, his legacy is probably going to outlast him. Napoleon Hill's legacy has definitely outlasted him. Zig Ziglar, yes, these messages are still here, but we still need the teachers to carry on the wisdom. And so I am one of those teachers, and I'd like to believe Curtis is too, and that's why we've partnered together, because it's about doing what needs to be done and doing, sharing that message with others. And that's my passion and my purpose in life, is to now share those messages that I've learned from all of these amazing teachers. And so I know what I'm doing to get there. And that's every day, just taking the steps. I recently watched a movie about golf. And I mean, golf is
Which movie was that?
Sorry, I don't
Which
remember. I
movie?
think it's The Greatest Game.
Was it like Netflix or something?
Probably, yeah.
Hmm.
The Longest Game, I think it was. And it's about golf and how, look, what's the first thing you know about golf?
You hit the ball?
Where?
Like in the middle with the number 1 or something, or a wood or something?
What is your goal in golf?
Hit the hole.
Hit the hole or the pin or the flag.
Yeah.
So you have a flag and you set your sights on that flag. And it doesn't make it now. You want to hit it in as few shots as possible. That's life, right?
Yeah,
we want to do it as soon as possible with the least effort. Absolutely. But let's say you hit it off in the bushes. You need to get it back on the green so that you can see the flag, so that you can head towards that flag.
Yep.
And every shot you take, it may go off course, but you still want to head for that flag, because your flag is your goal.
It's like a metaphor.
Right? So there's the goal setting process right there. Keep an eye on the flag. And my flag is to be that teacher, to be that educator, to share this message with people. So here I am doing what I want to do. And it's imperfect action, right? We don't have a presentation. We're working from an outline today, but we're doing what we need to do. We're delivering our presentation to people.
Yep.
And it's the start. We've done this. So in the past, we've hosted events, but it's been events where we've always presented other people. We presented, so we become known as hosts, but we presented their thoughts, their concepts, their principles, their teaching. Today, we are the teachers. We are here to present to people our thoughts, our learning, our message, right? So we're doing what we want to do, what our desire is. We're becoming the leader we wanted to be. So that's what I want to do, and I know I'm going to get there because I know the path and I keep heading in that direction.
Right on.
So next we're going to talk about Beacon. And look, I'm a beacon of life and leadership. That's my moniker. That's the title I've kind of come up with on what I do. You are a beacon of positivity because you keep, look, I will say this, Curtis has kept me positive. He's kept me in good spirits when otherwise I might have, wanted to give up. He's kept me happy. He's kept me smiling. He's kept me moving forward. And we all need that cheerleader. So I thank Curtis in that aspect for everything he's provided, because he is a beacon of positivity. He is a beacon of inspiration to me. And he has, to so many out there, he actually has quite a good following. So I'm proud of him for that. So what is a beacon? If I'm a beacon, Curtis is a beacon, you can be a beacon. In fact, you are a beacon because you are doing things for people. Look, there are so many ways we can be a beacon, but what is a beacon? First of all, when we recognize a beacon, we think of the lighthouse, and that's why we've used that as our symbol.
Yep.
If you want to bring that up, we're going to talk about that in a minute. But so our symbol is the lighthouse. Why? Because it's a light shining bright, but what it is a warning or a guidance system, right? If you see Curtis' background, it's got the light shining bright on beacon of leadership. Because when you're out, or imagine, so they say leadership is a lonely, dark place, right? You're often by yourself doing your work, and then you don't have cheerleaders, you don't have a lot of friends. So imagine the deep, dark waters. That's what leadership represents.
Here we go.
And
Share
so
that.
as you're out in the deep, dark waters, not that one, the blue,
Yeah, it's
you know,
right
the blue cityscape.
there. Oh, okay. One sec.
Yeah.
Stop that.
And I show, I'll tell you why once we get to that, because that one has meaning, and I represent it to the 4 elements: earth, air, fire, and water. So we're starting with water, which represents the deep, dark waters. And so when you're out on the deep, dark waters, you see that lighthouse, right? And you know that there's danger ahead, right? But that lighthouse, that light guides you in the right direction, or guides you to safety, or guides you to a safer path. So hopefully Curtis gets that up in a minute. But what does a beacon do? It's a warning. It's guidance. It's keeps people safe in unpredictable situations, right? The lighthouse usually represents that there's land ahead.
That's the one you're talking about?
No, there's that blue, just the blue one, not the houses.
Okay.
I know we've used several brands as we've tried to figure
Well,
out
it's similar, but it's
branding.
just, a
The
couple.
one that's just blue, it's got the lighthouse, and I think it's got a cityscape in there as well. So it's got, you can kind of see the water, you can see the island.
All right.
So yeah, and so like I said, the beacon, the shining light, the light from the lighthouse guides you in a direction that will yes, lead you away from the island, or for the rocks that you as you're coming in on your ship, you want to avoid. But that's what coaching is too, right? And that's why we relate beacons to coaching, to leadership.
This one here, it's overlapped, but
That's the one. If you can bring it, just maybe if you make it larger so we can see that.
Okay. One second. Stop it. Try again.
No, you could just maybe click. If you clicked on the corners, you could make it larger, like you could zoom it out. It's because that's the one I want to talk about.
Yeah, one second.
Because, like I said, it is so. And what it does is it attracts your attention or brings you into a specific location, especially when you're trying to find a harbor, which is safe harbor, right? Which is a safe space for you to come and enter and hit land and know that you're going to be safe. So I hope Curtis can get that out, because I want to talk about
a moment
how that represents the 4 elements, and the 4 elements the other one. They relate to leadership.
This is the other one in Canva we got.
And I will say that's
the
okay,
one that
if you look at that bottom one. If you can double click on that bottom, can you open that? Like, instead of clicking on seeing the page, like, because what we see here is
you see that?
Yep, that's perfect, just like that. Because so, like I said, our logo, why we've chosen this as a brand, is because it represents 4 elements, which we all know the 4 elements are earth, air, fire, and water, right? And I'm going to start with water, because you see the water there. It's deep, it's dark, it's blue. And imagine you're out there and there is no other land out there. You're in a lonely place, right? And what does water represent? Well, it's dark, it's deep, it's dangerous, and it's unpredictable, right? We have no control over it. And that's really what leadership is all about. We have no control over this, over what we experience, over what may be found in the deep, dark waters. So there's where waters represents, the danger or the unpredictability of life. Then we've got land or
The road up to the
earth.
lighthouse.
Earth. So we got, land, which really, there's your safe harbor, right? It's because what is earth? It's firm ground, right? It's no sure steps. We know when we're on land, we're comfortable. We can walk where we feel we need to go. So we're in a safe space, right? And that's really where we want to be. So it's about going from the deep, dark waters to that safe ground. And that's what coaching is too, and leadership as well, is taking people from out the deep, from that danger, and putting them in a safe space, which is that earth, that ground. So we feel grounded, we feel comfortable, we feel in a safe space. And then the air. In fact, so I'll go with the fire, which is the light, right? The light is the brilliance, the light is the shining. Even a flame like a torch, the fire, it represents warmth, comfort, and predictability. And I'll get to and the reason because man, until we discovered fire, we were lost. We were nothing. We didn't have the capability to do very few things before fire was discovered. So through the use of fire, we developed safety. We developed potential. We developed warmth, comfort, heat. So this brought us into a space of healthy, safe, comfortable environment. And then finally, the air. So we've got earth, air, fire, and water. So the air is it's health, right? We would be nothing without the breath of life. We breathe in air every single moment of our life. And this is the oxygen. And oxygen even gives fuel to the fire. So the fire itself that we utilize, we need oxygen to use it. So we've talked about water being the danger, the dark. We've talked about land being safe, comfortable ground. We've talked about fire being warmth and comfort, and then the air being the breath of life that we need to survive. So there's why we've chose our brand to be like this lighthouse on the island with the water because we believe those four elements and how they represent leadership are demonstrated in this brand and in this logo. So we believe you can be a beacon. Yeah, you can stop sharing this. Thank you. We believe you can be a beacon. In fact, you are a beacon. I can guarantee you that because you are a leader somewhere in your life. And we'll get to that very shortly. But what is the purpose of life? I think I've discovered it. And whether other people have discovered it or not, I know lots of people have, because the purpose of life, look, what is the very first moment of conception? The moment of conception is two elements coming together to create a new life, to a new being. But it's creation, right? Something is created by the merging of two cells, right? That's what life is all about. We're to continue to create. And then that life, that cell, grows and expands and becomes better. And whether they're born premature like London or not, they grow and become something great, and they continue to grow. They continue to expand throughout life and throughout childhood and throughout youth and into adulthood. Our purpose of life is just to continue to grow and expand and become more, and to become the best we can be. Some people, and maybe because they don't know the purpose of life, they don't know that they're like, why am I here, right? We question that. But honestly, if they knew that their purpose was just to grow, to expand, to become better, and to do the best they can, not just for themselves, but for everybody. Because look, if Curtis becomes better, Curtis is influenced in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Curtis becoming better helps me become better because I feel better about how Curtis is becoming. And maybe I influenced Curtis to become better. That helps me be satisfied and stronger and better and happier because I had influence on him becoming better. So it's our purpose to help others become the best they can, because the more influence we have on others, the more we help others become something, the better we feel about ourselves, the stronger we become united. And so the more people we help, the better society becomes, the better and happier life becomes. So it's our intention, our purpose to just grow, expand, become better, and help society and others become better.
Mhm.
That is the purpose of life, to grow, expand, and become more. And how do you do that? You can stop growing. You can give up. But let me tell you, Curtis and I have just talked about how that's a lonely, angry, frustrated life,
Yeah.
right? And a lot of people take the easy path. And I don't know if it's an easy path, but they give up. They take the early way out, right? Suicide is very prevalent still in our society these days because of these people who have struggled, who have been angry, who have given up and want out. Because life is tough if you live that angry, frustrated life. But if you're in a place where you know you're the problem, therefore you know you're the solution, you can do something about it. You can change. And I've already told you, I want to learn something new every single day. So that's about training and development. It's about building yourself up, building your knowledge, building your wisdom. How many people have I said I've learned from, right? It's about learning more from all of these people because, look, I don't know it all. Even still, I don't know it all. And I possibly never will know it all. But we all have different aptitudes. My wife and I just talked about that this morning, how we were watching a murder show and how they reached out to this tech guy who was into computers, and he found evidence about who the killer was because they found an IP code on similar emails or similar transactions or transmissions. And she says, oh my God, you have to be a genius to do something like that. So I said, you know what? It's not even necessarily that he's a genius. Now, I'm sure he's a smart guy, but it's that's his aptitude. That's what he's skilled at. And therefore he's explored that. And we need him. We need people like that who have different wisdom, different aspects, different levels of intelligence, different skills. And we need to leverage those skills. We need to learn from them if we can. Or maybe that's not our aptitude. Maybe we can connect and collaborate with them as these guys did, right? Being a police force, they all have different departments and each department does different things, but they collaborate to bring the case together and figure out what it is that's, what is each part of this. Somebody does the forensics, somebody does the autopsy, somebody follows the trail, somebody does the interviews. These are all people who work together to find the evidence, collaborate, and put it all together. So one of the things, in order to become more, we want to be, well, we want things. Let's just put it that way. We want things. That's part of the reason we're unsatisfied, frustrated. We want things. We want this dream life. So we want to have more.
Yep.
We can't just have more unless we do things first. Yep. So in order to have more, we have to do more. Look, Curtis and I, we want to be successful. We want the wealth. But if we didn't spend time putting this presentation together, if we didn't spend time in the background, putting the idea together, nurturing the concept, creating this community, inviting you into the community, doing all the website, the tech, all of these things, putting the presentation together, nothing would have happened. We wouldn't be here today if we hadn't done all these things in the past to get there. So we will believe we'll have more one day because we're doing more now so that we can achieve it one day. But in order to do more, look, we talked about how sometimes people are not in the right mindset, right? If you want to do more, you need to be more. You need to become more. When we were pissed off, angry, frustrated, we couldn't see things properly. So we couldn't think properly. So we couldn't think about ideas that were going to be creative and were going to be productive for us. But when we developed that mindset, when we, as Curtis said, I decided I was going to write a book. And then he wrote a book because he was dedicated to it, because he'd made up his mind. So he became the person who could write the book. We talked about how Curtis he's not a writer, but he's written a book. He's written a book on positivity. And it's a good book. It's a really good book. It has some great ideas in it on how you can develop a positive mindset. And I'm going to tell you, a positive mindset, look, even in my book, I have a book called 10 Steps to Achieve Any Outcome You Desire. The very first step is attitude.
Yes.
right? If you don't start with a positive attitude, you're not going to go anywhere. And that means you have to become that person who can do the things, who's going to achieve, get that achievement, get that success we all desire. So if you want things, we want to have things, you're going to have to do things, but you have to become the person who can do those things. That's how you be more, do more, and have more.
Awesome.
But here's the thing. We all have this potential inside of us. We all have the possibility. I don't care where you start. Look, 12 and a half years ago, I was a pissed off, angry man. I hated people. I hated the world. I blamed everybody else. I'm not lying. You know what? Like, I'm not a person who could commit suicide, thankfully.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, there's a lot of people who are that boat too, right?
But that's it. That's like, because you're in that mindset, you can't see things straight. As I said, I didn't know how to be any other way. So I was in a bad place, but I had that potential inside of me to do something else, to do something different. And we all have this potential. And it does involve following your aptitude, as I just mentioned a moment ago. But we have this potential. The problem is we're the only person who puts limits on ourselves. We say, I can't do this because I don't know how to do this. Look, I said, I don't know how to be any other way. But I did, because the first step I did was sought outside counsel. Because I didn't know how to do it, I sought the advice of somebody who did. And that changed my life forever, because their counsel helped me see my own self, which helped me see the potential inside of me. And then everything we're talking about and everything we're putting together is about learning, growing, and developing. We're talking about you. You are the first. They say life doesn't revolve around you. I'm going to call bullshit on that. Because life does revolve around you. You're the only person. We are awareness. You see how your life is. You are the person who affects your life. So it's all about you. What do you want to do? What do you want to do to achieve it? Where do you want to go? What are you like right now? What is your behavior? What is your thought process? What is your attitude? What do you want? WTF, right? What the do you want? Because I'm going to tell you, everything you can achieve in life starts with that. Because if you don't know what you want, you're not going to go anywhere to get it.
Yep.
And then, as I said, you need to become that person. But that means you need to develop your skills, your knowledge, your ability, your mindset. It starts with mindset, right? We said that. Start with your attitude. And then from there, we develop all of these other things because we believe in the potential or the possibility. And now we reach out to achieve it.
That's good.
But that's what leadership is all about. And this is where we start talking about our book, Become the Leader You've Always Wanted to Be. We've put together, 30 pages of content that we believe will just put you in the right frame of mind to believe that whether you think you're the leader or not, whether you've already started down this path or not, it will just put you in the mindset that I can achieve. I can be a leader. I can help to lead other people. And so I love the quote, if your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. That's a quote by John Quincy Adams. I love that quote because it lets you know that you're an influence to somebody. You're helping somebody. And John Maxwell says, leadership is influence. Nothing more, nothing less. And we all have influence. I've already talked about how Curtis has influence on my life. Right? Even London, when she comes in and says hi to us and waves to me, you know what I mean? That's an influence to my life because she changes my feelings.
Yeah.
So even that way, she is an influence on my life. So, and I mean, I have all my own family and everything. You have your own family. These are all influences on our life. So we are all influencing somebody, right? Even if you're only influencing yourself. Now, I'm going to tell you, first of all, that's a lie. Because no matter what, you have influence on somebody. And I'll get to that in a second. But even if you're just influencing your own life, making your own decisions, you're responsible for your own actions, you're responsible for getting up in the morning, showering, getting off to work, you're responsible for your life. Guess what? You're a leader. But here's the thing. Even if you're a lonely person who only goes to work, goes home, you still interact with people in your day, which means you have influence, whether it's on your coworkers, whether it's on customers, whether it's on salespeople. you influence somebody in your day. So guess what? You're a leader. But
That's
here's
great.
the thing, we just talked about, we're all family people, right? I am Uncle Rob, and that's a title that matters to me. I have influences on my niece and nephews. They reach out to me for counsel. They take my advice. They listen to me when I'm giving out guidance when we're at social functions, right? I have influence on their life. Guess what? I'm a leader. Curtis, you have a daughter, right?
Yep.
I have a stepson and stepdaughter.
Yep.
I've influenced their
Influence them.
growth.
That's right.
I'm a parent. Guess what? I'm a leader. But here's the thing. We all have friends, family, coworkers. We have people we interact with in our day-to-day life. We have influence on these people, whether we're just spouting. Now, I'm going to talk about negative and positive influences here for a second, because usually in social circles, we can either inspire people, pick people up, infuse them with positivity, like Curtis is so powerful in stating, or we can gossip and we can tell stories about people and we can say, oh, but this sucks and I hate this. And so, but guess what? These are negative influences and you are a leader. So if you're using this influence, you're using this influence for harm. You're using it in a negative way. So look, let's be positive. Let's start with a positive attitude and influence those people who are, you are leading them, whether you believe it or not. You have influence over them. Let's influence them in a positive way. Let's increase their potential. And then look, some people go a little further. They're involved. As I said in the beginning, get involved in community. Get involved in your church. Get involved in your kids' schools. Get involved in sports, sports in your community. These are all influencing in different ways. Whether you're just a participant on a team, whether you're just sitting in your church pews and having conversations with people, or going to luncheons, and this is influence. This is leadership. Use that leadership in a powerful way. So where are the leaders? Where can you find those leaders? As I said, you know what? They're everywhere. They're in your churches. They're in your community. They're your teachers. They're your fellow students. They're everywhere. And will you be one? Well, you already are one. So it's a matter of honestly, that's all it boils down to. What kind of leader are you going to be? Because you can become the leader you've always wanted to be.
Yep.
And so let's not forget those people who not only we talked about training and development, and we talked about leadership so far.
Yep.
And let's not forget coaches, mentors, speakers. These are people who influence, hopefully in a positive way. Their job is to help you grow and expand and become more. And that's people we interact here within this community. That's the reason we put this community together, because we can together online grow a community, which means we can grow the world, which means we can expand our influence and help each other become better. That's why we believe in this community we've called Beacon of Leadership, and that we built up something we believe is great, because we nurture the talent and the skills of coaches, authors, speakers, entrepreneurs, the people who want to become better and are helping you become better. So what do leaders do? First of all, they coach, they mentor, they influence, they develop talent, they change people's mindsets, and they inspire people to action. So that's our book, by the way. As we've started talking about the book, Curtis has posted the link here. If you can post that on a whiteboard, Curtis, so people can see it visually. I don't know if there'll be access to the chat. So if maybe you could open the whiteboard and show people the link. But we've got the link to our book, Become the Leader You've Always Wanted to Be. So if you click that link, you can download the book. 30 pages of influence of how you can become better, because that's what leaders do. They influence each other to become better. And as a beacon, and one of the reasons we chose Beacon as our moniker, as our brand, is because beacons set an example. So we refer to them as shining examples. And look, you can even see a light bulb over my head on the left side there, because they offer, inspiration, great ideas. They offer brilliance. They offer the light that you might not otherwise see. And as an example, they lead with their ethics, right? You hope hopeful that they're ethically inclined. And we'll get to this before the end of the presentation, that not everybody is ethically inclined. Not everybody has great intentions. We hope the people we're going to influence. There's the link, by the way. Thank you very much, Curtis. We're hopeful that everybody you come in contact with is going to be positively inclined and going to influence people in a good way, but not everybody is, and that's unfortunate. But so then not only are you hope they're ethically inclined, they offer accountability, right? Because you are responsible to go back and tell your boss or your manager what it is that you're doing. You're accountable to them. So they offer accountability to you, which means it keeps you increasing. It keeps you becoming better. So please go and download this book. Become the leader you've always wanted to be, at the link here. And hopefully, and we'll make sure to post it in the recording so people have access to it. Because
it'll be on YouTube.
A little book.
Yeah, it'll be on our YouTube channel, podcast.
Yep. And we'll post this on YouTube for people to watch posthumously. So they offer and then they offer guidance and direction, right? My leader, my manager, she gives me tasks. She leaves me to do my work on my own because I know what I'm doing. I know how to do it, and I can find ways to do it for myself. But I may not always know what to do. I may not always understand her direction. So she gives me direction when it's needed. Then she says, if you can't figure this out, come back to me and we'll work it out together, right? So that's what leaders do. They give you direction. They give you a place to go. They give you, work you're supposed to do, but then they give you guidance. If they're true good leaders, it's, hey, come back to me. I can help you with this. Don't worry about it. You're not on your own, right? So it's guidance, support, direction. And then a leader conveys vision. They offer goals for us to achieve. They convey the mission behind the business, and then they demonstrate certain values. So they offer values, which, look, we're nothing without positive values, without good values. But then they give us the overall mission. What is it we're trying to achieve here, right? And then they offer up the vision, but they give us goals towards achieving that vision. So we'll talk about vision for a second, because look, we have created something here. We've created more about it because now we are Beacon of Leadership. That's our company name. But we've created a community and a side business that we're going to start called Beacon Fellows Academy of Leadership. It's a leadership and development community. And that's why we call it a fellowship. And we'll get to that down the road. But this is what we've put together. I am the creative aspect behind this business. I'm the person with the vision. I shared that vision with Curtis years ago. And we've been working towards that vision ever since. So I offer the vision. Curtis is inspired by that vision. And now we work towards creating that vision. That's what providing vision is all about. That's what leadership is all about, is giving people something to work towards. There's where coaching and mentoring is involved.
Yeah, sure.
Academy of Leadership. Thank you very much for that. Keep that handy. And we'll talk to people about that after. We're going to run through the book very quickly. I'm going to run through some concepts in the book, but I want to get through this very quickly. So there's the debate. Are leaders born or raised? And look, maybe some people are born into leadership, right? Royal bloodlines. We know about princes and kings who become kings. And they're all born into leadership roles. But are they born with leadership skills? Just because they're born a prince doesn't mean they are born to lead. There are leaders in that field who are poor leaders. And we've seen that. If you follow, there's just so much not politics, scandal and gossip around these roles, because they're not all perfect. They're not all designed to lead, as much as they were born into a leadership role. But having said that, that means these people now need to learn how to become good leaders. Even those people in high roles. But because they've learned, that also means you can learn. You can become the leader you've always wanted to be. You can develop your leadership experience. Because look, the leadership, the greatest leader, and this is a quote by Ronald Reagan, the greatest leader is not necessarily the one who does the greatest things. He is the one who gets people to do the greatest things. So if you can have influence, if you can inspire others, if you can share a vision, you can be a leader, and you can be a good leader because you can develop those skills. Through training and development, you can develop those leadership skills. So a couple of good leadership skills for you to develop. First of all, I'm talking to you today. I'm sharing a message with you today. I'm sharing this vision. That means I need to learn how to communicate. I need to learn how to speak to you properly. Now, my communication is not perfect. Just like my presentation is not perfect today. My communication is not perfect. Sometimes I speed through things too much. I like to deliver a message, so I deliver it quick, maybe too quick. Are you hearing me? Are you understanding me? These are all communication skills. But I've worked hard on, I've been a Toastmaster. I've been a public speaker when I was a child. I can deliver a message. I can speak, but I can develop those skills even better than I have them today. But I didn't always have them. When I was a child, I used to ask a lot of questions. I used to be, but why? But why? Why is this happening? Why is, that was me as a child because I was inquisitive, but I didn't know how to communicate other messages to people. Right? So I've learned communication throughout my life.
Really?
Empathy. We have to feel other people. We have to have an understanding of other people, and we have to have compassion for other people. These are all about knowing what other people want, how they feel, knowing that because I can feel this way, I can feel upset or hurt or angered. Guess what? You can feel upset or hurt or angered. And by accepting that you can feel that way, I can treat you a little better because I know that maybe I can hurt your feelings, and I'm trying not to hurt your feelings. Integrity. Integrity is about always doing the right thing. Now, you may not always get it right, but if you have an intention to always get it right, to always do right by others, this is a skill that a leader needs, just to always have the best intentions of others in mind. A leadership delegates. Now, this is a difficult one. You need to know, look, I know that I'm not that great on the task aspects of things. So I lean on Curtis. Curtis, can you do this? I don't assume, I don't say, Curtis, go do this. Curtis, can you do this? Are you able to do this? What do we need to do this? So I give Curtis tasks, and he goes and carries them out. And then we work on them and rehash them and work through them later.
Figure it out, see what we want, yeah.
Yeah, by giving you those tasks in hand, I offer, delegation. And that's really one of the leadership skills that you can develop. And then, like I said, I may not always, I don't assume Curtis can know things. So being intuitive, knowing that Curtis may or may not know how to do this. By talking with him and working through it, I understand that, things can change, things can work, things can be developed. So being intuitive, understanding that things are not always this way, anticipating problems, and responding accordingly when things don't go as planned. Look, even last night, I'm not perfect. Even last night, remember, Curtis? I had technical issues.
Yeah.
My computer was down. I knew I was going to need my computer today. I couldn't review the outline we were going to do. I was frustrated.
But we did find a plan B, though.
Yeah, we talked about a plan B, how we were going to move forward should this. Now I got my computer back up and running, thankfully. But if that didn't happen, how were we going to proceed? Because we still needed to put on this presentation no matter what. We said we were going to do it. We needed to do it. And that's another thing about leadership is
commitment.
Doing what you say you're going to do. That is a big skill of leadership. And look, that's been a hard one for me to develop too. There have been times where, look, we've already postponed this event a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
It was going to happen in May. It didn't happen in May. It was going to happen in June. It didn't happen in June. Here we are in July.
End of July.
Because I said it was going to happen. It just didn't happen when I said it was going to do. But even I had to, and I still probably have to develop that skill, doing what you say you're going to do.
Or at least a bit more better.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And then how do you become a skilled leader? Or why is it important to become a skilled leader? You become more valuable, right? You become valuable to your employer. My boss, like I said, she gives me assignments. I go do them because she knows I can carry them out. Because I can lead myself, right? We're self-leaders first. I can do what she's asked me to do. So I become more valuable. And the more you learn, the more you lead others, the more you inspire others, the more valuable you become to your employer. So you might receive promotions or an increase in salary. You become more valuable, the better and stronger a leader you become. You become more attractive to other employers. Look, maybe your employer is not seeing it, but other people might see, look, man, I saw what you did there. That was amazing. Like maybe you develop a presentation for a bunch of executives in different locations, like even a sales presentation. They're like, oh, I saw what you did there, man. I need somebody with your skills. Can you come? We'd like to hire you. Because you become more valuable if you're able to influence and inspire people to action. It also improves your personal and professional position. Look, when I was angry and pissed off, nobody wanted to hear from me. Nobody wanted to hear what I had to say because I was spouting off. I was angry. I was emitting, spew, dragon blood, and nobody wanted to hear that or be around that. Nobody wanted to listen to it. Nobody wanted to be anywhere near me. But when I changed my attitude, when I developed my leadership skills, like I said, Uncle Rob is a title that's important to me. My nephews and nieces, they listen to me, right? They take my wisdom and my guidance because they know I've been through some stuff. I've learned, I've developed, and they take that wisdom to heart. But the world needs great leaders, and you can be that great leader. Leaders, I love the Steve Jobs quote. It's strange to think that the people who think they can change the world are the ones who do. And look, I've said this, and I started one of my books with it. I want to change the world, but I can only change the world through my influence. I can only change I can't change it by myself, but I can change it by influencing you to become a better leader for yourself and for everyone around you. So by influencing you to become better, you influence other people to become better. The whole world becomes better through my leadership influence. So you can become that leader.
Yep. Good.
And then I love the quote. And this is, look, you can become the leader. Some leaders are born great. Some achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrust upon them. William Shakespeare. It's a matter of, will you be ready when that leadership call is being made? Will you be in a position to accept this call? So do you step into your greatness? Do you decide that look, Curtis decided I'm going to write a book.
Yep.
That book has led him to other great things. It's led him to the influence he has today. So the greatest leaders are ready when we need to be, when we're prepared to be. And then, like I said, Curtis made a decision. It's about making that decision. And then you can just develop. You can become better. You can become great. There are 5 things of leadership, 5 principles of leadership that I believe you need. First of all, and I call them the 5 H's of leadership. They're in the book. Actually, they're not in the book. They're just, I should have put those in the book. And maybe we will.
Oh, nice.
I call them the 5 H's of leadership. First of all, you need to be honest. I'm sorry, you do need to be honest. Telling lies is not going to get you anywhere. It's not going to help anybody. It's not going to influence anybody to become better. Truth and integrity are one of the biggest concepts of leadership. Next, you need to be honorable. You need to be a person who has value, right? Trust and respect are 2 things you must earn, and that comes from being an honorable person. You need to be hungry. You need to have passion. You need to have a desire. You need to understand your potential and want to go out and reach that potential. You need to be honeable. And this is where what we put together is all about. You need to be honeable. You need to be willing to learn. You need to be willing to change and accept that I can learn more. I can know more. I can become more. So that comes to training, right? So the more you want to learn, the more you want to develop, you need to be honeable. And then you need to be humble. There, Curtis, thank you for sharing that. You need to put others first, right? It's about service to others. Now, we all want things. We are selfish beings at heart. By being humble enough to go, you know what, Curtis' life is just as important as mine. And by putting him into perspective in where his position is in my life, I'm of service to Curtis. Because, and there's He holds me accountable because I'm of service to him. I take his consideration in mind, so I'm humble enough to realize I can't do this without him. So, and then you might say, I'm an introvert. Now, look, I'm an extrovert. You can see that. I talk to you. I'm comfortable sharing my knowledge, my wisdom, my voice, my expertise. But some people aren't. Some people like to hide in the background. I'm going to tell you, I used to be that guy. When it come to meetings, I would hide, kind of shy back and not let people see I was there. I didn't answer questions. I didn't put forth ideas. But I changed that. And I remember the first time I did, so, they asked for feedback and I had a great idea, but I was so scared about sharing it that I didn't do anything about it. And so I then, I shared my idea and I was scared. I was like trembling. My face went red. I was so nervous, but I shared my idea. And my boss was like, oh my God, that's a valuable idea. Let me see what we can do about implementing that. And it made me feel so good. And there's why encouraging people to be better leaders is important, because that made me feel so good that I wanted to do it again. And then in other meetings, I shared my opinion and I began to share my opinion more. And there's where I developed out of being an introvert to being an extrovert. But here's why introverts can be good leaders as well. First of all, they're better listeners. I'm a good listener. I like to talk. There's no doubt about that. But I'm a good listener because I came from a place of being quiet and being understanding and being compassionate. So they're better leaders. They're not driven by ego, right? They're not all about, oh, I have this, I want this, I need this. You're not going to stop me to get this. No, leaders have consideration for other people. They have compassion. So they're going to be, less ego driven. They're relaxed and calm in stressful times. Now, you can tell I'm an extrovert because I'm no longer relaxed and calm in stressful times. Sometimes my emotions get the better of me. I like to maintain control and I find ways to regain control. Mm-hmm. But an extrovert is naturally calm, finds a solution, and works towards that solution. They work harder. They're more prepared. They do things in the background without being asked. They often do things before others because they're quiet and they just go to work. So they're better leaders because they're nicer, they're quieter, they're more effective. They have more meaningful relationships because they're not all about being boisterous and voicey and sharing their opinion. So they develop deep relationships with people, especially those people they work with, and therefore they can have more influence on them because they're calmer, more relaxed, and be able to communicate better with them. And then because they work in the background, they can usually gain support from people without having to pressure them, without having to do this or else, right? So those are things that, and if you're an introvert, you can still become a great leader, and that's in the book too. And then I want to talk about some of the great leaders, because we talked about how some great leaders have greatness thrust upon them. And I say success leaves clues. Well, let's talk about the clues, because there are some great leaders in history that we know, who we know have led people through change. And I'm going to do them almost in chronological order, starting with Abraham Lincoln. Now, we called him Honest Abe. Honest Abe was known for his leadership through the slave times, right? Through the revolution, the American Revolution. And that was all about slavery and fighting slavery, and at a time when people believed that slaves were okay to keep, but the North believed, no, you don't need slaves. You can have, if we all work together. So Abe was responsible for changing people's mindsets, changing people's belief. And yes, they fought a war over this. It wasn't just, okay, I'm going to, tell you. Sometimes things lead to violence. And in leading people through that violence or that war or that transition is a big responsibility. And we all know Abraham Lincoln. Yes, he was killed over his principles, but he was responsible for inspiring people and being honest with people and keeping them fighting over a cause that, I mean, how many lives were taken in the American Revolution? So he kept people inspired in a time when the world was falling, or at least the United States was falling apart. Another great leader we know is Mahatma Gandhi. And by the way, his name is Indiras K. Gandhi. Mahatma is an honorary title that means great spirit. And he was a great spirit, but he was also a person who struggled with his life. Like, he was a lawyer. He has a law degree. When we picture Mahatma Gandhi, we picture this man in robes who had nothing, but yet he was a successful leader. But he was a lawyer with a law degree, hired by prominent law firms, but he wasn't satisfied. It wasn't inspirational to him. And he saw a lot of struggle and a lot of unhappy people, and he wanted to help those people. He wanted to inspire those people. And he gave up his wealth and he gave up his position in life so that he could inspire people from a different position. He thought, you know what? Most of these people have nothing. If I have nothing, but I show them that we can do these things, I can inspire them. And so he gave up most of his wealth and it began to influence people and inspire people. And they took on the monarchy, the British monarchy, and fought against the British monarchy, not with violence, but with passivity.
Mm-hmm.
He inspired people to take action through inaction, and which is a great concept. And follow the life of Mahatma Gandhi if you really want to understand how, as an introvert, you can have influence. Franklin Roosevelt, who took people out of the war, right? At the end of World War I, he became the leader of the United States, the president of the United States again. And one of his greatest aspects is he could influence people. He built relationships with people. He got to know people, had a great understanding of people and what they want. And through knowing what they want, was able to give people what they want at a time when the world was in turmoil. They just come out of a war. They were experiencing depression. The world was in turmoil. How do we go back from this to bringing prominence, to bringing joy, to bringing success? And he did bring people out of this depression, out of the post-wartime, efforts, into a state of prosperity once again. Winston Churchill, also at the same time of Franklin Roosevelt, we all know him. His claim to fame is his determination, his resilience, and his never surrender, never give up. We're going to fight you in the trenches. You know what I mean? His attitude of, we're never going to give up. We're going to fight you. That was inspirational to his people. It brought us from wartime into, the world may be a different place if it wasn't for somebody like Winston Churchill, who not only stood his ground and said, no, we're not going to accept this. We will fight you to the death if necessary. And he helped lead his people out of poverty, destruction. What do you call it? A despot. You know what I mean? Adolf Hitler, and we'll talk about him momentarily. Adolf Hitler was going to take over the world. And if it wasn't for people like Winston Churchill to stand up to them, the world might very well be a different place today.
Yeah, for sure.
Martin Luther King, another one. We're talking about slavery. He helped change our mindset. He brought us together through integration, right? He united people. I have a dream that Black people and white people will walk side by side. And those are not the exact words, but it's, pretty close. But because he shared this vision that I believe we can be united, I believe that we will be united one day. And he shared that vision. Other people took up that vision. They carried that vision forward, and we still fight that battle to this day. Even though we've come a long way in 60 plus years, we're still fighting that battle of racism and segregation, and you don't belong. So we're still fighting that battle. But the strides we made in the 5 years or so in the 1960s, 1950 to 1960s, that time was a time of intense change. And we needed somebody like Martin Luther King to bring about the vision and then to help carry it forward. And then and Martin Luther King was killed because of his principles. But because he'd shared the vision, other people carried on his vision, even past his death. And the world is a different place because of the influence of Martin Luther King. And then Nelson Mandela, who for 30 years was imprisoned. But that entire time, he was influencing. He was sending a message. He was changing the world. That segregation, right? That blacks against whites in South Africa. But that movement, when it allowed people to free Nelson Mandela. It started a movement called Free Nelson Mandela because the people wanted him free because they wanted to share his message and make him the leader of South Africa.
Okay.
Because he carried on the vision, shared the vision, the people supported him. He changed the world through his influence. And then I said, hopefully, leaders are going to inspire you through goodness. They're going to have great integrity. They're going to be people of good character. And this is why I believe it's important for people to be a good character, because there are leaders out there who are not always honorable. They're not always, have good intentions. That maybe they have integrity, right? Adolf Hitler had a mission. He had a purpose, which is to eradicate certain segments from society, Jews and blacks, and he didn't like these people. And his mission to get rid of these people. He had integrity, right? He had one purpose in mind, and he lived up to that purpose every moment of the day. So he had integrity, but he wasn't honorable. And as such, he tried to take over the world, and he might have without people like Winston Churchill. Genghis Khan, he almost took over the entire Asian continent because he wanted control. He wanted everybody to look up to him, to take his lead, and to pay homage to him. And as such, he almost took over the entire Asian continent. Joseph Stalin, who destroyed his entire population. Anybody who didn't believe in his principles, anybody who he thought did wrong, anybody who wronged him, he executed people in mass scale. They didn't believe in what he believed in, and they didn't do as they were told. So he was a despot. So these people, not of the greatest character, but they are society's leaders today. They are people who are put in positions of power. So use your influence for good. Next, we're going to move on to talking about training and development, because that's what we put together here. We're talking about community. We're talking about belonging. We're talking about being together. We're talking about training and development. And there are many ways you can develop. Look, Curtis, I've talked about books I've read. I've talked about all the things I've put together. I listen to books. I listen to audios. I listen to videos. I continue to learn, and I hopefully I'll learn till my deathbed. So where can you learn? Where can you become better? First of all, high school. We all have, I'd like to believe, I have my diploma. I'd like to believe it led to something. And then there are secondary institutions, colleges and universities. Some people believe these have value, some people don't. There are many successful people out there who don't have degrees, or are college dropouts, who are millionaires, who have created something amazing, even though they don't have a university degree. But university and colleges, they have their place. They do teach you lessons like they teach you skills, business, management, finance. They teach you management skills. They teach you clerical work, so that you have the background and the skills in order to put things like this together. You know what? I will say, Curtis, you and I are not that far along in our business, or as far along as we may want to be.
Yeah.
Because we don't have those management skills, the clerical skills, the finance, the accounting, the business administration.
Yep.
We don't have those skills that are probably necessary for running and building a business of this nature.
Scale,
Learning is we're doing what we can, but we don't have those skills. But I will say this. So let's talk about that very briefly, Curtis, because we are looking for people. We are looking to expand our business. You and I have been doing this for a long time by ourselves.
Yeah.
We know that we need certain skills involved in our business. Like we need a website developer. IT. We need somebody in that area. We need an event planner. We need somebody who can help put our events together or coordinate our events. We need somebody in sales and marketing, and maybe we can contract this out. We've talked about, right? But we need people who can sell what it is we're putting together. Somebody who can market and share that message out with people. Look, we've done a lot to get this message about today out, right? But we're not that good at marketing, so people have not paid attention to it. They haven't done what they're going to do.
Yeah.
So we are looking for people in key skill areas, and we'll reach out to people and we'll put a campaign together about that, because we do need partners in our business who are going to take this business to the next level. And then self-education, there are a lot of places you can reach out. Look, we've talked about books. There are audio books. There's information out there. There's websites, YouTube is a valuable resource. There are training courses online. Allison is one of them. Coursera, Kajabi. These are all places that people can go and learn. And then, of course, we're putting together the Beacon Fellows Academy of Leadership. We are a community. We are people united together in common interest. And that common interest is training and development. So we're about belonging. We're about networking. We're about participation. Each of you is a participant in certain ways. We are collaborating. We're partnering together. But we're also a network. We're a community connected and related to each other, where we're going to host networking, meet and greets. We're going to host different opportunities for people to network, to work together, to collaborate, to build this community out, and all around training and development. If you can open up our Beacon Fellows, first of all, open up the website briefly, and we'll scroll through that, because I want to show people what we've begun to offer. We're talking about Beacon Fellows Academy of Leadership.
1 second. I got the academy here. Do I do that one first?
What do you mean by open up what you have?
Okay. Oh, that's weird. It's not popping up. Hold on.
You had our website open earlier.
Yeah, I know. It's the sharing's not doing its job at the moment. Give me a minute.
Because what we're putting together,
There it
it's
is.
a community of thought leaders working together for growth and development. That's our
the academy.
website. You can go to this website, beaconofleadership.com/fellowship, to find more. Now, we believe this is a membership that has value, but it's going to take us a while to put it together. And that value relies on you. It relies on you and your skills, because what we're asking, we say we're both students and teachers. We are students first. We're come here for the training and development. We want to learn more. We want to become more. We want to have those things. In order to have those things, we have to do things, but we have to be more in order to do those things. And that's what this is all about. It's learning those things that we don't know. Like I said, Curtis and I, we don't know everything. And therefore, we'd like to learn more. But by bringing people who can teach us into our community, we can become better. So we believe we put together a good membership. Scroll down a little more, and you can get access to it. Now, we believed we were going to, no, stop there, Curtis. We believe we were going to offer this for $297, and we will when we launch it out to the public. But this is what we're doing as a pre-launch. For the rest of this year, we are doing a pre-launch. Now, we're going to offer this to the public at $297 US. But until the end of this year, you can join us for free. We want people in our membership. We want to develop out the content, and we need you to bring your content. We need to bring your training to others so that we can offer your training and our training. Look, Curtis and I have some courses we're working on putting together that we're going to put into this content too. So we're not asking something that we're not doing ourselves, but we're asking people to bring in 60 minutes of content. Now, we're not asking for your intellectual property. We're not asking for that course that you're offering $297 or $1497. But we're asking you to bring in little segments of training on your knowledge and expertise that you've learned along the way. So we need to know what you know. We need to know what you've learned on your journey. So we're asking you to share that with our membership. So we ask you to bring 60 minutes of training content. Now, I'm going to tell you, we will not accept 60-minute contents. We won't accept 60-minute videos. And we actually recommend that you bring 10-minute videos, 6 10-minute videos, because there's value in what we've offered, because we're going to put backlinks with a social media backlink with every piece of content you offer. So if you offer 6 10-minute pieces of content, that means you're going to have 6 backlinks to your social media where people, oh, I love what Curtis taught me. I need to find out more about what Curtis taught me. I click this link, I go to Curtis's LinkedIn page or his Facebook page or his YouTube account. I find out more. And I will recommend that you use YouTube, because guess what? You lead people directly to your YouTube content where people can watch your videos, where people can learn more from you and about you. So we're not going to lead them to your website. We're not going to lead them to your calendar, but we will lead them to your social media. And I recommend you leverage YouTube. So again, we offer it with each piece of content. So if you're going to offer 15-minute pieces of content, that means you get 4 backlinks, right? 4 times 15 minutes, 60 minutes. You get 4 links. If you offer 2 30-minute links, that means you get 2 backlinks. So there's why we recommend 6, because you maximize the backlinks. If you can put 6 10-minute pieces of content together, you're going to get more backlinks, which means more exposure, because you get credit as the instructor. This content will belong to Beacon Academy of Leaders. Stop there. Hold on. No, don't scroll yet. Don't scroll yet, because we'll get to that back in a second.
Mm-hmm.
So this content does belong to Beacon of Leadership, but that's why we're not asking for your intellectual protocol or property. But so what we just said, you get this membership for free. But as a founding member, which will be through 2026, if you sign up before 2026 or the end of 2026, you're going to become a founding member. And founding members will lock in for an annual price of $297. Look, as we develop the content, this membership is going to go up. It may be $397 one year. It may be $597 eventually. We don't know. But if you join us within the next, up until the end of 2026, you will become a founding member and lock in this amazing price. But like I said, you can join us for free and lock in this membership of $297. Go to beaconofleadership.com/fellowship. And then, so like I said, you're both a teacher and a student. You come here for the training and development content, but we need, you scroll down a little more. We need your content. We need you to be faithful enough to bring that 60 minutes of content to share with others. Look, we all share content online. That's what we do. So why not bring it to us in a dedicated membership, to a dedicated audience that's going to be into training and development, want to learn what you know. They need to know sales and marketing. They need to know business development. They need to know leadership mindset, leadership concepts, different practices, skills and assets. They need to know finance. They need to know accounting. They say as a CEO, you wear many hats. You need to know this stuff. So bring your content to us so that we can have people who are dedicated to learning this stuff, and you get exposure to that audience. Go down a little further. And because this is an online learning, you can access it from anywhere. In fact, we'll even have downloadable content so you can utilize what we call auto university. That means you can learn in your car. You can learn as you go. You can learn on the treadmill. You can learn while you're working out. And then we focus on you as a content creator. We connect you to your peers. We host networking and masterminds events. And then we're selling you. We're offering promotional events to sell your programs. Look, we want your content. We want your small content. And we will promote your small content to our audience so that they can have access to it. But then we're going to also host promotional events where, look, we're going to help sell your $1497 coaching program. because we believe your coaching program has value and we want to share it out with others. So we're going to host promotional events, not only monthly summits like we're hosting right now, but we're going to host different workshops and trainings that we're going to promote to a larger audience. So, and we want you to join us. Click one of these links on the website, beaconofleadership.com/fellowship. So that's that, Curtis. If you can open up actually, I will share the next screen.
Okay. Stop. Okay.
And we'll go to this one. Actually, no, I'll go to the brief. So this is the Beacon Academy membership. Beacon Fellows Academy of Leadership is a community fellowship. We're about fellows working together, learning from each other, a community united in a common bond. But like I said, you are a student first, you are a teacher second. So come to us for the training and development. But look, we are asking, and on top of whatever annual fee, and look, you can get in for free right now. But on top of your annual fee, we're asking you to contribute 60 minutes of content. The content will belong to Beacon of Leadership or the Beacon Academy, but will be made available to all members. Some content will be available to the public in promotion of our membership. So we may throw out your content because we believe it's valuable to everybody, but we'll do so in enticing more membership. And the more membership you have, the more exposure you have. So we've asked for the compliances, the annual fee, plus the commitment of 60 minutes of content. And that content needs to be uploaded to us or provided to us within 90 days of your application in order for your membership to be active. And this is how we expect. In fact, it's 2025 for free. I'm going to change that right now while we speak. 2025, because this was our original launch prices. 2026 for $297. 2027, I intend to have it. We intend to have it at $397. And who knows where it will go from there. So register for free now and lock in your lifetime fee of $297. There's some tiers. The first 2 years, we're going to have basic training. And during the basic training, all content is going to be made available to all members. But we have upgrades that we're working on. And by the way, what other benefits do you have? You're going to get access to basic training. You're going to get a 10% members discount. So anything you buy within our community, we're going to offer 10%. We're going to offer 10% affiliate commissions. So anything you sell, if you entice people to become members, you're going to get a 10% commission. If you sell products through us, you're going to get a 10% commission. But here's another bonus. As a founding member, we're giving everybody an extra 5% commission bonus. You're going to get access to our summit recordings. So you'll have them delivered to you in your inbox. And then you're eventually, once we do our tiers, you're going to get one free tier 2 training. So this is upcoming. This is probably after 2026 that we'll have these tiers broken down. And these are our tiers. These are our levels of achievement. Tier 1 is basic training, which we call the usher. You're the person who's guiding people on the path that they need to go. They're providing your expertise and your direction. Second tier is called torchbearer. And I'm just going to run through these. Third tier is called lighthouse keeper. And I think that's the level. Even Curtis and I are only at that level at this point because we have our specializations, right? And then tier 4 is called phoenix. You keep rising from the ashes. And then tier 5 is called luminary. In other words, you shine upon everybody. You are an expert. You are an authority. And you are a mentor. So we're building into this luminary achievement. It's going to be costly because we're building in a mentorship program, a monthly mentorship program. And with each of these levels, you do get higher commissions. So it's not just 10% once we launch our tiers. So that's a brief overview of our, and can you post this website on a whiteboard for me, Curtis? It's beaconofleadership.com/beacon_fellowship.
Wait a second.
And that's where you can download this playbook. Now, I've given you the brief version, but we have a 30-page, 26-page ebook that really outlines everything we've been putting together. What's the value in it? What is the purpose of it? What you get out of it? We've outlined that. And I want to talk about this for a second. The level of achieve, or the levels of value, because this is what I built all of this upon. Look, as entrepreneurs, as coaches, as people sharing content, we start here. We start at the implementation phase. That's what we do for a living. This is our work, right? It uses your working muscle at time. That's where you get the assets from. And as such, your income is limited to either minimum wage or 80,000 maximum. And that's where I'm at right now. My job, it pays me just around $80,000 a year because I'm at the implementation phase. This is where we're moving into by creating community, the unification phase. And now that's usually the management or leadership role. And that usually starts at a $40,000 income. But that can lead up to an average of 250,000 or more, but the average being 250,000 for taking on a leadership role, for putting yourself in a position of leadership and uniting people and inspiring people. You can earn more income because you have more value. Then we move into the communication phase. And this is where we all want to be. Curtis and I are just starting this out, right? We are just starting to sell our vision and our message and our community. As such, we hope to elevate our income through our communication. We hope to either, look, you can start at $100,000 a year. Some people say the average or the starting rate is $10,000 a month. That's $120,000 a year. You start at that rate, but you can earn upwards of $100 million by using your scaling skills, by developing your communication, by becoming a better leader and being able to sell your vision to inspire others. You can earn this kind of income. And this is why we believe in putting something like this together. And then using your imagination. Now, we're asking you to bring 60 minutes of content to the table, right? And you might think, oh, well, why should I give you 60 minutes of content? Because we're not asking you for your intellectual property. We're asking you to bring some skills that you've learned so that you can teach others. But that gives you exposure. And then when we lead them back to your social media profiles, there's where you use the creativity and the imagination to create up different packages and different offers and different ways to help and support these people. And if you're very successful at that, you can earn anywhere between $1 million or unimaginable, trillions of dollars. Jeff Bezos, who started working in his garage, created this book-selling company, is now one of the leading manufacturers or sellers of products in the world, and his business is worth trillions of dollars.
So RJ, what link do you want to sell? You want to sell the document link?
Sorry?
Do you want the document link up? Or do you want
No.
to share?
Yeah, the link for the document, which is beaconofleadership.com/fellowship. Or no, beaconofleadership.com/beacon_fellowship. Or is it beacon_fellows? Let me look that up right now.
Well, I have the link to the document here.
Is that the direct download?
Yeah, it's just a direct link, yeah.
No, I want them to go to the website.
All right.
Look, just like everybody wants exposure, right? I'd rather people go to our website and find out more about us so they can bounce around between the different profiles or different links. And that way they can find out more about us and decide if that's something they want to be involved in. Because we're asking a lot of people, right? So if they go to beacon_fellowship. Have you got that on the whiteboard?
I'll get it up now.
So this is what we're putting together. Give me a moment. Just write it on the whiteboard, and then we'll bring that up in a moment as I finish up here. So there's the potential you have, and you can click. If you go get this document, you can click on the link and watch this video by Myron Golden, who walks you through this. So when I watched this video, I went, "Oh my God, this is amazing. This is something everybody needs to know." And I built our business around this principle that, look, if we start out and have a desire to go beyond the implementation phase to the unification phase where we're uniting leaders, we can elevate our income. If we develop our skills and our communication, we can now elevate our income. If we use that creativity and imagination, we can now elevate our income to an unimaginable potential. So that's why we put this together. That's why we believe in the value of it. And you'll find more information of everything we're looking to offer. Look, it's still in the implementation phase. So all of these things may not be implemented, but you'll see where we're going, what we're desire to put together by getting this document. So if you're not sold, if you don't believe yet that 60 minutes of content is too much to ask, I don't know if I want it. You know what? Maybe they're putting something together that's great, but I don't know if I believe enough about it yet. Go to this website. Did you put it up?
Yeah, it's just the
There you
actual opt-in link. Not
No,
the
that's
actual
the
document.
opt-in link. But so let me see if I have the whiteboard here, and
You
I'll
do.
put it up as well. So and then let's clarify what these are so that people know. www.beacon
Okay, so share.
of leadership.com/beacon_fellowship. That's the website. And I'm going to outline what each of these is. So this is our
Book. That's the book link.
oh, I erased it.
Undo. Go back to undo upper right. Yeah.
That's our ebook. Then we go to this one. That's our membership.
Yep.
And then we go to this one. And that's
There's a
our playbook,
document.
which is more information about our community. So this is what we've got. This is what we've been working on. This is what we've been putting together. I hope people watch it. I hope people enjoy it. I hope people follow up and learn more about what we're putting together. We're going to actually put this presentation on. Look, today was our first foray into developing a presentation of our own. We've been involved in several summits in the past, but this is the first one that we're delivering on our own, from our own initiative, with our own content. This is our first foray into delivering a presentation to you.
It went well today, I
Pretty
think.
proud of it. We've walked through the outline. We've outlined what it is we put together and why it's so important to us. And I really hope people find the value in it. I think there's value in it, but it's up to you to decide. So click one of these links. Look, you're not ready to join, you want more information, or you're not sure you're a leader. Go to this link and click and download our ebook. Find out more information about what leadership is all about and how you can become the leader you've always wanted to be. If you want to know, if you're ready to join us in our membership, you think, yes, this is a community for me and I want to be a part of it, click on this link. beaconofleadership.com/fellowship. Now I'm going to put these in red so that people understand that this is not part of the link. Oh, looks like I can't. So I can't highlight only the word.
No.
But yeah, let me go this way then. That's the ebook. That's the membership. Oh, didn't do what I wanted.
Do undo.
And this is the playbook. I just wanted to separate
Oh,
so the people can see. If you want the ebook, click on beaconofleadership.com/be the leader. If you want the membership, you're ready to join us, click on beaconofleadership.com/fellowship. And we'll make sure all of these links are in the YouTube video right at the start of the video. So because it is going to be uploaded on YouTube within the next couple of days, probably by Monday. And then, in fact, we will launch it Monday so that people can watch it as of Monday. And then if you want more information, you're not sure, but you think we've talked about some great things and, you know, you might like to be a part of it. You just need more information. Go to beaconofleadership.com/beacon_fellowship to download our 26-page fellowship or playbook, which outlines everything that we have the dream to put together here. And again, we want you to be a part of it. We believe we put something of value together here, and we just need you. We need your content. It doesn't exist without your content. Curtis and I have a few courses we're working on putting together, but that's only a few courses. we believe the value is in collecting and curating all of your content as well as ours and delivering it to a larger audience dedicated to training and development in the leadership area.
Yep.
So anything else you have to add, Curtis? Thank you for all your technical
Thank you.
aspects, your
Yeah.
your contribution, and everything you've added to today's presentation.
Thanks, RJ.
Anything else you want to tell people before we go away today?
No, thanks for being here, and I hope you guys enjoyed what we have to talk about and become a member. It'd be awesome.
And how can we lead people to our YouTube channel? Do we have that link available?
I'm
We'll
not
post
sure.
it on social media. We'll post it out on Facebook for people
Just
to
look up
watch.
Beacon of Leadership YouTube. So Beacon of Leadership YouTube.
beaconofleadership.com/YouTube. Now, I don't think that website exists as of yet.
No,
right?
just go to YouTube and look up Beacon of Leadership.
Understood. But you know what? I think we need, having said that, we need to create a web page, beaconofleadership.com/YouTube, because that is the place where we're going to deliver some of our content. So let's create that channel. Let's create that website so that we can have a place for people to go and find out more about what we got together. So that's something to do. But so please, until now, just visit YouTube and Google Beacon of Leadership, and you'll find out more about this, and you'll find this presentation as of Monday. Hopefully people have watched till the end here and they'll understand where to go.
Well,
Because if they didn't, they won't have the links. Well, no, they'll have the links because we'll post them. Well, we'll do everything in our power to make sure people have more access to this. So,
yeah.
All right, folks, thank you. Have a great day. Until next time, this is RJ Horner saying have a great day ahead.
And Curtis, say have a good day, guys. We'll see you soon.
And keep shining bright.
Take care. Thanks.